Hi everyone, in this short video I'm going to show you how you can generate feedback for your students on writing questions from the Duolingo English test. So questions like the writing sample, this one you can see you have 5 minutes to answer the question. You have a question over here which usually has a main question and a couple of other prompts to help you along. There is also, similar to that, interactive writing, which also asks you to answer something and then answer a follow-up afterwards. So you can see that all of these contribute to the writing subskill as well as literacy and production. But before we can look at how to give students feedback, we need to know how those are graded. So let's take a look at the Duolingo English test scoring guide. All right, so I've got the DET scoring guide open here, and specifically I've got the grading criteria for production questions. So we're going to look at these very briefly, but you can see answers to writing questions here. They're graded on 4 criteria: content, discourse, coherence, grammar, and Lexis. And in this guide, you can see that there are details to what's involved in each. So content, for example, looks at things like task achievement and relevance, the style, etc. Discourse coherence looks at progression of ideas, clarity, obviously cohesion. Fluency, we don't need to worry about because that's only for speaking questions. Grammar, for writing questions, we're looking at complexity, accuracy, and punctuation. Lexis, we've got lexical diversity, so using a range of words and phrases. Sophistication, so using less common words and phrases. Precisely, word choice, so using the right word for the right situation. Word formation, and spelling. And of course, pronunciation is not part of this. So we're now going to use this information to help us grade some example, or not grade, but give feedback on some sample answers for students. Okay, so I have ChatGPT open here. I'm going to copy and paste a prompt, and I'll explain the prompt, and then I'll tell you how you can edit it. You'll also be able to find the prompt in the description of this video. So you can see here that I've basically outlined what I want the AI to do. I'm going to show it an example of an answer to a writing question on an English test. I want it to analyze the answer and give feedback. And I've said that the feedback needs to be balanced. It needs to be easy to understand. Now I've said A2 to B1 level. Of course, perhaps if you're reading it yourself, you don't necessarily need the language to be that simple. So you could change that if you want to. And I've asked it to categorize and organize the feedback using those 4 categories that we spoke about earlier. So content, discourse, coherence, grammar, and Lexis. And then from the scoring guide, I've included the relevant parts of, or relevant explanations of what these mean: content, discourse, coherence, grammar. Oops, that should say number 3 here. And whoops, I already have that. There we go. Grammar and Lexis. So there we go. And then at the bottom here, you'll find a space to input the question and the answer. Of course, the question is important because part of content is task relevance. So in other words, did you answer the question that was being asked? And if you didn't, then, or the only way to see that, I suppose, is by checking the question. All right, so I'm going to take an example question here, the negative effects of checking your phone, and I'm going to input an answer. And I'll put the answer here, and then we'll hand this over to AI, to ChatGPT, and see what feedback it gives. Okay, so for content, it says some things that this test taker did well. This, I suppose, is related to task relevance. And then it's got a suggestion for improvement. Discourse coherence. It says, and it's given examples here of us that we've used linking words. And then it's suggesting using more linking words and where we could use them. Grammar. Okay, it's got quite a lot of suggestions for how to fix some small grammar mistakes. And similarly for Lexis, it's picked up some good collocations and some less common vocabulary, and then it's also given suggestions for improvement. So there we go. That's a way that you can use AI in combination with grading criteria for the Duolingo English test to be able to generate some feedback to your students. Of course, very important to say that AI isn't always right, so make sure that you do check what feedback the AI gives. Make sure that you do actually read your students' answers before passing any of that feedback on to them. Okay, I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you liked it or you have any questions, then please put a question or a comment in the space below the video. All right, thanks for watching.